Something that frankly pisses me off is watching brilliant founders completely waste their time with their personal brands. Look, I've worked with over 300 founders, agency owners, and operators who've built $1 million personal brands. And I can tell you right now, most people are doing it completely wrong. Your personal brand is either a profit engine or an expensive hobby that doubles as a complete waste of time. There's no in between anymore. I'm going to explain why 99% of founders fail at personal branding and the 3 obsessions you need to develop to fix it. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the exact framework we use with our clients to turn their expertise into authorities that attract high quality leads and closed deals. See, if you're an agency owner or a founder or someone who wants to monetize your knowledge, this is for you. I'm not holding anything back. I never do. Every single thing I know about building a personal brand that actually makes money is in this video. So why do 99% of founders fail at personal branding? I see the same pattern over and over again. They post for 2 or 3 weeks consistently. They see a little bit of engagement. They get discouraged and quit. Or they get some traction, build a decent following, but they just can't convert it into actual revenue. Or worst of all, they post garbage content that makes them look like an amateur and just ends up hurting their overall reputation. In 2025, building a personal brand is mandatory if you want to close high-ticket clients, raise capital from investors, attract top talent, get speaking opportunities, and create additional revenue streams. I've helped founders and agency owners add 6 and 7 figures to their business with their personal brands. And it's not because I'm some magical content wizard, it's because I know how to architect the infrastructure and systems needed to turn your expertise into an authority that generates revenue. But it all starts with your mindset. I never thought about personal branding as this hack to go viral. That's for teenagers on TikTok. Now, for founders and serious business operators, personal branding is a system to build long-term authority that compounds over time. People like Dan Koh, Ryan Deiss, Layla Hormozi, they're all trusted because they've built their personal brands on real infrastructure. And it all comes down to 3 critical obsessions you need to develop. What are those 3 obsessions? It's making content that is targeted, trustworthy, and conversion focused. Let me break down each of these for you. Obsession number 1 is targeted. A lot of people start with, how do I get more followers? But that's the wrong fucking question, because your goal isn't vanity. The real question is, how do I attract the right followers? One of our older clients, Miran, posted about how he generated 20 high-ticket leads from X, aka Twitter, when he had less than 1,500 followers. How? Because every piece of content he created was hyper-targeted towards a specific audience. By the way, if you want to see how we help founders build personal brands that generate consistent high-ticket leads, click the link in the description to book a call directly with me at Mogul Media. Now, here's a formula. Our goal is to define 3 specific ideal client personas, the ICPs, with their job titles, their pain points, and desires. We want to create content that directly addresses their big challenges. We want to use language that signals them to specifically ignore everybody else. Lots of people create content for everyone, which means it resonates with absolutely nobody. On X, I see people posting generic business advice or platitudes trying to appeal to the masses. And on LinkedIn, I'm seeing people post this thought leadership that says absolutely nothing of substance. And you know what works? Being specific. For example, if you're targeting e-com founders who want to scale to paid acquisition, your content should address their challenges, their specific challenges. For example, different bidding strategies, how you scale the specific Shopify brand without relying on Meta, or the CPM math is killing your Shopify brand's profits. Each of these directly speak with the audience with their specific problems. You want someone to be able to read your content and think, this person gets it. He's speaking directly to me. This is how you get those targeted followers, and one of those targeted followers will eventually become a client who's worth way more than 10,000 random followers who will never buy from you. This isn't some cute saying, it's business math. Focus on targeting the right people. Now look, I know what you're probably thinking. By this point, you're just saying, another guy telling me how to build my personal brand. I get it, but I'm not here to sell you on going viral or becoming famous and twerking on camera. I'm here to show you a system that works. And if you want my best frameworks, all my best templates, and all my strategies for building a profitable personal brand so you could implement it yourself, just click the link below and check out the Utopia. I share all my insights of what's working right now in the market. The link is in the description and it only takes 10 seconds to join, and I promise it will be one of the highest ROI 10 seconds you will spend today. Now let's get back to the actual video with the second obsession, which is trust. Once you've targeted, you need trust. And trust is earned through depth. We've worked with hundreds of founders, and the ones who build the most successful personal brands understand that trust is the real currency, not attention. There are three types of content you need to build trust. There's authoritative content, there's technical content, and then there's story-based content. This is what I call the 33-33-33 rule. It's a mix of authoritative content that shows your credentials and results through your content. It's the I've done this before successfully content that establishes your expertise. For example, I've helped 35 SaaS founders increase their MRR by 30% in 90 days. Here's what they all had in common. Then you've got your technical content that proves your expertise through actual actionable value. This is the here's exactly how to do X or the 3 steps for Y to show off your in-depth knowledge. For example, the 5-step cold email framework that generated $250,000 for a client. Lastly, you have the story content to build the real connection and relatability with your audience. It's the king of the content styles that makes you look human. For example, and I'm saying look, not like you're a robot, but for example, I lost $100K on my first agency, but if I could go back then, I would tell myself this one thing. When you consistently publish this mix of content, people trust you before they ever even speak to you. For example, Fraser went from 25K a month to over 6 figures a month in revenue using this content mix. Another client, Jordan Ross, added millions with an S to his business using this strategy breakdown. The secret here is the consistency. You can't post once a month and expect a result, but you also don't need to be posting 4 times a day anymore. What you need is a systematic approach to content that builds trust over time, and that's what we teach inside the Utopia. Just click the link in the description to check it out. The third obsession is conversions. This is the final piece of the puzzle. This is where most personal branding experts completely drop the ball. You've got your targeted followers, those people who trust you, but if you don't have a clear path to conversion, your content is still just a hobby, and there are 3 elements to actually converting people. Number 1 is the content to cash funnel. Number 2 is direct outreach systems. And number 3 is the nurture sequence. Your content to cash funnel is the process of turning content consumers into content payers. There's a simple system for this. Value first content that models some degree of your expertise. Then there's call to actions that offer more value, for example, newsletters, free guides, and then a conversion mechanism, which is a call to the booking or to the product to purchase. Then you've got your direct outreach system, which is how you proactively connect with ideal clients who engage with your content. On X, for example, I use a simple 3-step process. I identify prospects who engage with my content. I provide value through thoughtful replies, and then I move the conversation to the DMs with a specific question. I use this system and I've been able to close 31 deals in 25 days, documented actually on my X account. And finally is the nurture sequence, and it's how you stay top of mind with prospects who aren't ready to buy yet. And this is where email comes in. Email is like your defender for your content strategy. I put every lead into a 6-step email flow that provides value with subtle showing off of our services. One thing about the conversion side is it requires asks. What this means is you have to promote. You have to promote multiple times a week of showing off your results, but at the same time asking for the sale. You have to remember, if you don't ask, you don't get. Now, let me quickly share the 5 most common mistakes you want to watch out for while you're building your personal brand. Mistake number 1 is using AI to write everything. This is by far the biggest mistake I've seen recently. Your unique voice and your personality have to come from you. AI can handle the structure, it could do the organization, it could do your research, but your stories and your experience need to be authentic. People can smell fake AI generated content from a mile away. Mistake number 2 is not following a content strategy. You shouldn't be posting randomly without a clear content matrix. You need to start out with 4 content pillars. You want to test them with your audience and then narrow down or substitute the pillars based on performance, and you have your clear winners. You need the 33-33-33 mix of authoritative, technical, and story content to build a complete brand that people can trust. The third mistake is focusing on follower count instead of the right engagement and conversions. I'd rather have 1,000 followers with consistent high-ticket lead flow than 100,000 followers with zero or very low revenue. Don't get distracted by the vanity metrics because they are not going to pay you. Mistake number 4 is no monetization plan. Lots of people post on X and LinkedIn but have no clear path to revenue, which makes it more of a hobby than a business. If you don't have a clear content to cash funnel from day one, you're going to have an audience of uninterested individuals who are not ready to buy from you down the road. Mistake number 5 is giving up too soon. Building a $1 million personal brand takes 12 months minimum of consistency. I've seen people give up after 30 days when they don't see a little bit of traction or immediate results. This is a long-term play that compounds over time. No one's taking your personal brand away afterwards. If you can avoid these mistakes and follow this blueprint I've laid out, you're on your way to building a personal brand that generates 7 figures. Now, what I've shared today is just a tip of the iceberg. Inside of the Utopia and our main agency, we teach a complete system for building personal brands that generate revenue. We show you how to use X, aka Twitter, as your idea lab, how to use LinkedIn as your amplifier, how to use your email list as your revenue engine, and each platform plays a very specific role in this ecosystem to increase your chances of nurturing leads and bring you predictable revenue. We've helped 300 different founders, agency owners, and operators build personal brands that print trust, generate referrals, and become unforgettable. And what we've learned is simple. You don't need a massive audience. You don't need to post 4 times a day. You don't need to be a natural born content creator. What you do need is the right systems and the infrastructure, a process for turning your expertise into content that attracts the right people, builds trust, and converts. Look, at this point, you have a decision to make. You can continue posting randomly or spending all these hours every single day trying to create your content for your personal brand without the right systems and the right processes to generate revenue, or you can work with people who have this down to a science. I promise you this. If you implement the 3 obsessions I've shared today of targeted, trust, and conversions, you'll be in the top 1% of personal brands in your space within these next 6 months. And if you want help implementing this, I have 2 ways to help you out. All those links are directly in the description below, or you could just shoot me a DM right now on X and I'll point you in the right direction. Whatever you do, stop treating your personal brand as an afterthought. It's the most valuable asset you'll ever build. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.